We play and call it work.
Hey everybody, Matthew here from MiniWarGamer.com, and welcome to another Sit and Talk. Obviously, you can see that the guest this week is none other than MiniWarGamer Dave.
Yeah, it's gamer.
MiniWarGamer Dave from MiniWarGamer.com. Remember how much we went through years ago figuring out how we were going to identify ourselves?
Yes, and that was the default until we could think of something better.
Yeah, MiniWarGamer Dave here from MiniWarGamer.com. And I was just Matthew from MiniWarGamer.com. Once I was actually in videos.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, as you know, last week I said that you need to leave your questions for Dave. And to prove that, you'd have to start off your comment by saying, hey Dave, or Almighty Dave, or MiniWarGamer Dave, or whatever it is. And trust me, there'll be all sorts of variations to that as we look at this. And then I'll act as host and ask some questions. Now, Dave marks the finale of this short series of sit-and talks with interviews with each of the content producers of MiniWarGaming.com. And so next week we're going to go back to just a random Ask Me Anything show, and then we might switch it up and do some topics or some other things as well. As usual, if you have topic suggestions, things that you'd like me to cover kind of like the majority of the time in a sit and talk, there's a link in the video description below that you can go and leave those there. Or if you have any suggestions for improvements to the show, or just ideas like how we did the past few shows of interviews with the content producers. Because I'm always looking to change it up, because I get bored easily. I can't just do week after week of Ask Me Anything sit and talk. I got to change it up to keep it interesting. Probably for you guys too, because let's just face it. And as usual, first 45 minutes are for free, and then we're going to do a bonus 30-minute segment for Vault members only. The link below. Of course, if you're not a Vault member, you can still click it, get a free 7-day trial, which would be awesome. And trust me, most likely you're going to keep it if you have the trial, because the majority of people who take the trial keep it. And we appreciate that because it allows us to feed our families. I always talk about the studios and making videos, but really what it comes down to
is the nerdlings.
It's the nerdlings.
Yeah.
That's right. And we got a lot of them, like 6 between the two of us. It's a lot of mouths to feed. So, and, you know, then a bunch of employees, and then some of them have kids, or dogs, or cats.
Or lizards.
Or lizards. Or anything else. I don't think anybody else has any other like pets. Anyways, we've been spending a lot of time. And of course, lastly, and I promise this is it, and then I'll get into questions with Dave. Because I know that's what you're here for. You're not here for me. You're here for this guy.
Not true. It's your show.
But I'm just the host.
It's Jay Leno. Just the host.
Oh, I'm Jay Leno now. All right. we'll put this out at midnight instead. Late night sit and talk. There we go. That's a new show for MiniWarGaming. So last thing, just a disclaimer, of course, because of the nature of the questions, some of them might be personal. I have no idea. I actually haven't read through them. Neither has Dave. And so personal sentiments might come up, or maybe political or religious views. Who knows? So if you're easily offended by that kind of stuff, I suggest you just don't watch the show and you save yourself the emotional hassle of being offended. Just go watch one of the many other battle reports or other things that we put out on our channel.
You said it. You can't say you wasted 45 minutes of your life.
That's right. Let's go. Oh, and as usual, leave your comments for next week in the comment section below. And thumb up the ones that you like the most. Grinning Man. Hey Dave, what got you into Chaos? And when did you start playing?
Okay, so this was 8 years ago. I started playing. And we had a club upstairs. And I looked at the armies that other people were playing. Matt had Tyranids. Some other people had Space Marines, and I saw Chaos, that no one was collecting Chaos, and I thought, okay, that's the best looking army I've seen in my entire life. I'm just gonna collect that one, because A, no one's collecting it here, and B, I am Chaos, so it was a perfect fit. It was a match made in...
The Warp?
Yes.
Maybe that's what you're looking for there.
Yeah, I think so.
And you know what, let's face it, Chaos probably has one of the best looking armies.
I agree.
Yeah, and because of the huge variety that it actually has.
Massive.
You're really collecting half a dozen armies.
Yeah, at least 5.
Chaos.
At least 5.
Because not only can you make your themed lists that you can mix and match, and you got demons and Chaos Space
Actually,
Marines.
yeah. That's just 6 right there. And then that's not even considering the Khorne Demonkin, and the other one's going to be coming out, so
that's right.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot to collect.
Keep yourself busy.
They're really good looking stuff too. Not that the other armies don't have good aesthetics, but I don't think any army, except maybe Space Marines, can kind of rival it for the variety of aesthetics.
Yes, but Chaos is cooler, so that's why I went for Chaos.
Yeah, of course. Jay Ubble. Dave, outstare Matt. You ready?
So no blinking? Is that the deal?
Why
That's
do you-
that's a staring contest. If you blink, you lose. That's the
But I
rules.
blink a lot.
So do I.
Okay, hold on. You ready?
Get a blink set?
I don't know if that works. It probably makes you blink more if you blink too much. You got to think a bit less. And now, no doing any sudden movements. Just actually who can go
Okay.
longest without blinking.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
Set. Go.
This brings out the competitive nature in us.
I'm not going to last very long.
I-
That didn't even last very long. There was this one guy in high school who could stare for like a couple minutes. I don't know how he did it.
that's freaky.
Yeah, and his eyes stayed moist.
Wait, hold on. What was the guy's name that said that?
Jubble. Jubal.
Oh, it wasn't
Jay
Jay?
Ubble.
It was Jay Ubble.
Jay Ubble.
Because I was thinking of Jay, and I was thinking of his eyes
Oh, yeah.
staring.
Yeah, it would be hard to outstare him.
It's just ironic that that kind of comment came from a guy named Jay.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Mentality. Dave, I know times have been hard recently, but it's so awesome the way you created all the new studios. How did it feel creating, building something with your own hands? And was it therapeutic at all?
Yes, absolutely it was, yeah. It was therapeutic, and thank you for mentioning what you mentioned there. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to be in the mind space of making videos for a while, so I figured I'd just dive into a project where I know I could just think of nothing else, and it's that manual labor thing. It's kind of like doing gardening. It's therapeutic. I found it very therapeutic, just creating stuff. And I can't take full credit because I didn't do 100% of the work. Adam Rogers, Greenleaf Terrain, he did a lot of the painting on 3 of the studios, and he constructed one of them. I constructed 3 of them, and the last
directed
one,
all of them.
I directed all of them, and I constructed 3 of them, and I mostly did the last one. There was helpers from time to time doing things, but it was very therapeutic. A very good thing for everyone, I think.
Oh yeah, it's
for the videos
It's this kind of, the hard thing is that you've stepped it up, and so in 6 months from now, you know you're going to get comments saying, "Oh, I've seen these same studios now forever. Give me new studios." But they're expensive and time-consuming to make.
Yes.
Quite expensive.
And you know what?
And quite time-consuming.
That being said, for many years we made bat reps with granny cloth, so I think that the lifespan might be longer than 6 months. Even a couple years.
Maybe,
I think
yeah.
it'll be a while before there's 4
Oh,
unique.
I know. I would love if we had the budget to do this, to actually make like 5 or 6 studios in total, and then every quarter, just tear one down and redo it. So a studio lasts for a year and a quarter. That's a long time if you think about it to use the same studio.
Yeah.
And so, but there's always like every 3 months.
And it would be coupled with the theme of a narrative campaign, so it'd be
Sure.
like in the studio.
Yeah, that'd be even cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even just having it rotate, and you have more than you need. You have to have at least one more studio than you need because one would always be under construction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And basically, I think that would be the perfect way to do it. Now, unfortunately, you know what? That money-wise, that's not as big an issue as the time that would be
It is
required
time, yeah.
to put into it. Which I guess time is money too, because still pulling a salary.
Time is
you're-
money, yeah.
You're building that.
Yeah.
So it would be pretty expensive, and it's not something within their budget now. But I think that would be a cool way to do it.
I
Just
think so,
rotate.
yeah. In the future, that's a good way in the future.
That way you always have something new. You've got a set budget. You know exactly how much you're spending, and the viewers get to see a rotation of stuff, and you don't have a studio any longer than a little over a year,
Yeah.
which I think is reasonable.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
we'll see. For now, we're just going to enjoy the 4 studios, maybe have little updates to them. I know we're putting in lights today
Yeah.
to brighten a couple
Brighten
of
up the
them.
Orc studio and the Warzone Matt studio.
Yeah, and just things like that.
Even just putting plaques of names on studios, that would help a lot.
So we can actually know what they're called.
Instead of my studio having 6 names.
Yeah.
And what's the name of my studio?
I call it the Zone Mortalis Studio or Dave's Studio.
Okay. I think
I
Dave's
don't-
studio is probably the default
yeah,
one.
Yeah, and I call mine the Ruin Studio.
What's called the Warzone?
That's what you call it.
That's what everyone
I
calls
call
it, except for you.
Ruin Studio.
Everyone calls it the Warzone.
Oh, okay. They're all war zones.
But it is the Warzone.
The war zone. I guess it's true. It isn't a war zone. Whereas
Yeah.
it's the mech shop for the
Mech
orcs.
shop, it's not a Warzone.
And the fantasy studio is like a forge.
It's not a Warzone.
Yeah.
Neither is a Zone Mortalis. It's not a Warzone.
Oh, Zone Mortalis can be a war zone.
It's good.
Yeah, whatever. Now, just to finish Mentality's comments, thanks for doing all the updates. It was great to see the rooms come along. It's weird the way the camera is like a small window into your guys' lives. I hope it was never too intrusive, because we all got a lot of love for you, dude.
Thank you. got a love for you too, dude. And you.
We don't know it's a
I love you.
mentality. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl.
Doesn't matter.
I guess you can call a girl dude. That's
Yep.
just like a phrase. It's like, hey guys, kind of thing.
Right.
Hey guys, hey bros.
And it's always weird when it's like, hey guys, and gal. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
They try to be funny.
yeah, exactly. Valor calls 1. Dave, king of banterous awesomeness. Oh boy. What month do you want in the upcoming mini wargaming calendar?
Oh.
Apparently there's a calendar thing that we have to do.
Yes, I know. I heard.
It started off as a swimsuit calendar, but I vetoed that idea, so people have been coming back with like, well, dress up as your favorite character or race or something like that.
It's not a bad idea. It'd be a fun idea to do it. Just
Yeah, it
kind
would
of goofy
actually.
thing.
And I'm sure Rob wouldn't mind doing all the makeup and all the costumes and stuff.
I'm gonna have to choose July
Why July?
because it's my birthday month and it's the month of fire, which means Corn would be happy. So July it is.
Corn's blood, not fire.
He's fire. Come on, think
Zinch
of
is
lava.
kind of fire.
Zinch is like blue fire. Corn is red fire. Okay.
I guess he likes to burn.
There's no such thing as red fire. It's like yellow fire.
I'm sure there's red fire if you burn the right chemical.
It's probably, yeah.
You can get any
Yeah.
color with fire.
When I think of Corn, I think of blood and fire.
I guess it's kill, maim, burn,
There you go.
right?
Yeah.
So,
July.
all right. Brute 28. I think it's B Root 28. Hi, Dave. How did you like visiting England? What was your favorite part?
My favorite part of visiting England was, it was the people at the gaming clubs at Southend-on-Sea War Games group, and I also went to Dark Sphere. So that was the number one thing, was meeting the war gamers and being immersed in them. Someone had a very interesting comment to me when I was there. They said, Dave, when we watch your videos, it sounds like you're talking normal. Now that you're here with us, you have a really heavy accent. I said, oh, that's funny, because you have an accent too.
Yeah, once you're immersed with everybody else and they can hear the difference when two people are talking.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're talking here, you're mostly talking to people with American or some variation of an accent of that.
Yeah. It was also seeing Les Mis live in London.
Oh, yeah?
Kind of the place where theater was invented, I think. Maybe.
Well, I
Maybe
think the
not.
Greeks
But like
and the Romans
they
might
made
have
it
been doing it
popular.
before that.
They made it popular. Sure, they had plays and stuff.
Yeah,
But
just the Greeks
yeah,
and the
sure,
Romans,
yeah.
whatever.
Maybe for 1,000 years before that. But
Yeah.
like they made it popular. Yeah.
All right.
It's my opinion without actually knowing the actual facts. But I really enjoyed seeing Les Mis.
You just offended Italians. I warned you. I warned you.
Actually,
could get
you
offended.
did, because they're not Italians, they're Romans.
Rome is in Italy.
Yes, it is. But do you
now they're
call
Italians.
Italians Romans? Do you call Italians Romans?
No.
Then what do you call them?
Italians.
You call them Italians, right? Not Romans. But you just
Right.
said you just said that Romans were Italians.
Well, yeah, Romans are Italians.
They technically are.
They're from Italy.
But technically speaking, people from England are also Roman. Because it was founded by the Romans. It's called Londonia.
I guess I'm wrong. I apologize to all Romans and Italians out there. And English people, I guess. Anybody else I offended.
Toad in a hole. It's very good. Oh yeah, and the fish and chips. Just out of this world.
See, I'm not a big fish and chips fan.
See, I like fish and chips. So when I have like the soggy stuff that we have here, it's not the same. Oh, it still tastes kind of good with the tartar
If
sauce.
you go to Newfoundland Fish and Chips over on Prince Charles.
Yeah, I have been there.
Those ones
yeah,
are fantastic.
they're the best in the area, but they still don't compare to the fish and chips that I had at the airport in Heathrow. And it's this massive,
Haddock?
maybe? I don't know what kind it was.
it's usually either
It didn't
haddock
say,
or-
because it had some funny name. And I say
Mahi?
It's a funny name that I didn't recognize because it's just I'm not a fish connoisseur and I don't eat a whole lot of fish. But I saw, I'm like, hey, that looks good. And it tastes like they killed it like 10 minutes before I ate it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And it was doused in awesome sauce.
Yes.
I just had to say that.
My favorite part was Westminster Abbey. Westminster Abbey. Oh, Big Ben. It's a Wiggles song. I've got 3 little kids, all right?
Do you know what they named Big Ben after?
No.
He was a boxer.
Steve, Leland, and Dave, or Quirk.
What?
You have
Yes.
3 little kids.
Oh.
Oh, no. I'm like, what?
You acknowledge your work family.
Who do they name Big Ben after?
He was a boxer in like the 1850s.
Oh, yeah?
And he beat the American heavyweight champion at the time.
So they named a
So he was
clock
the
tower
underdog.
after?
He was the underdog. It was the bell.
Oh, the bell. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So it was pretty sweet. I took like a big bus tour like 6 times.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because it was
That's one thing I wish we did.
cheaper transportation than taking taxis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, by far.
Yeah.
Perforos. Hey, Dave and Matt. I just wanted to thank you for what you guys do. Last year I had a spontaneous pneumothorax. You know what that is?
Who doesn't know what a...
That's a collapsed
pneumothorax
lung.
is? Right.
You didn't know that?
Yeah.
Oh man, Google it. He wrote collapsed lung.
Hey, I said who doesn't know?
And having you guys on my tablet really made the scary 4-day stay in the hospital much more bearable. Thank you guys for making a difference in my life. Vault member for life. That's awesome. I love
That
hearing
is,
stuff like
that's,
that.
yeah, me too. That's awesome. So,
Because our goal is to provide wholesome entertainment in the miniature wargaming industry. So it's nice when people leave comments like that.
I'm glad your lung is okay now.
Well, he didn't say this.
Well, assume the best and expect the worst.
I hope your lung is okay.
Yeah. What did I say?
I'm glad your lung's okay.
Yeah, so I'm assuming.
Orky Benji. Hey, Dave. Any chance for more stop motion stuff? I think you were really talented in that area.
Thank you and yes. Soon, actually. Honestly. Because Rob is excited about it too. And if you guys haven't seen Rob too much, he's the new video editor and he's also talented in other areas, i.e. costuming and
Everything?
movie making. He's made 28 short films. So he's helped me a lot to reignite my video content making
Passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie. When I was making the studios, I was so studio making oriented that it was hard to bring myself back to making videos again. I was so immersed in it. So
It's an ebb and flow thing. Like when you do it for years, there's periods when you get tired of it. And then on top of that, things in the personal lives happen that can influence that as well. But just even if nothing happens, you can get bored or you can tired of doing the same thing.
yeah.
So we need revitalization every once in a while. It's called sharpening the saw,
Yes.
as somebody said in one of their books.
I think that would be Covey.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if he made up that term, but people are like, I'm too busy cutting down this tree with this dull saw. Why don't you stop and sharpen it? No, I'm too busy cutting down this tree. And really, you stop, you sharpen it, then you can cut it down faster. So
It's true.
So you have to think about that too. So you'll see, if you watch everything we do, which not a lot of people watch everything because we put out so much, you can kind of sense when it happens and when people are kind of getting tired of something or when they get really excited about something again.
It's very transparent. It's hard to mask
It's hard to hide it.
exhaustion.
Yeah.
But going to London also
That helped.
boosted.
See, it's funny, that's different for me because when I came back from it, I had a hard time getting back into things because I loved being on vacation so much that it was hard to come back to regular life. It took me a couple weeks to adjust.
Right.
So,
Yeah. But at the same time, I also loved it so much. It just had an opposite effect.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
It's just the way that we work. Valhalla Forever. Oh, mighty and majestic Dave. Told you. A few questions for you. What is your favorite sports car?
Oh, it's a Corvette.
What is your favorite outdoor activity? Don't get this wrong, you get tossed off the bridge.
Well, it's fires.
What month will you take for the MiniWarGaming calendar? We already answered that.
Yeah. And when I say fires, I'm not a pyro. I mean campfire. Okay. I just had to clarify.
Luger 9mm. Or maybe Luger 9mm. Dave! All caps, exclamation mark. When are we going to see you face Matt's Tyranids? I really like them. One from way back when that was the reason I signed up for MiniWarGaming.
We've done 2 battle reports ever on camera. One was the epicness of awesomeness. And then years later, we did the very first 7th edition battle report. And it was Chaos versus Tyranids. And so...
That's it? We haven't played since?
not in that respect. We've done narrative campaigns.
I guess we did we did narrative campaigns.
Yeah, but we've never done our main armies, our home armies, if you would, versus each other since.
I guess we were in the 4-player free-for-all together, but...
No, see, it's not the same. That's a very specific thing, right? Because here's the thing, okay? I've never beaten Matt with my Chaos in a one-on-one match with Tyranids versus Chaos, ever.
Well,
ever.
You just said it. We only played like twice. I don't know if that's
on camera.
On camera.
Yeah. So out of the 2 times I've played him, I've never beat.
Yeah.
We actually should just have a straight up match.
That was a tie.
Yeah.
Which one?
The bat rap.
Oh, the bat rap was a tie. Technically.
Well, that still doesn't count. He didn't beat me. See, that's the great thing about beating at bat raps is it's when there was a prize, you had to beat me to get the prize.
Right.
So if it was a tie, essentially I
no
won.
prize.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Because
won.
they didn't beat you.
That's right. It's like
Yeah.
you didn't beat me. My record holds.
Yeah. But that would be a good match, just a straight up.
Well, we do have plans for a Christmas
We
special.
do have But that's also different.
Yeah, it will be different.
It's not
It's
that.
Not, it's not a fair matchup.
That's a... Huh? What do you mean it's not a fair matchup?
Oh, because we're not going to... I don't want to spoil what's going to happen.
Oh, okay.
It's just going to be different than a regular game.
Yeah, so that's a whole other beast, right?
Yeah.
They're talking about...
I'll have to have a lot of energy for that day. So we'll see.
The question
It's
is, how's it going
happen.
to be filmed?
It's going to happen. Of course it'll be filmed.
No, how is it going to be filmed?
You film when I'm playing, and I film when you're playing.
So it's a beat, map, banter, bat rep.
It's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. The best of both worlds.
It's a beat, mat, banter, bat rep. I like it.
Now my name is Matt Banter.
Not Matt Bat Rep?
Matt Banter Bad Rep.
Matt Banter.
Banter's my
That's your middle name.
Yeah. Bowser Delta. Dear Greater Demon Dave. Hello, how are you?
Excellent.
I'm fine, thanks. Okay, that was one of those awkward times where you say, I'm fine, thanks, when the person didn't actually say, how are you? Have you ever done that? You're like,
Yes.
Hey, how's it going? And they're like, good. And you're like, yeah, I'm fine, thanks. You're like, what? You never done it.
Or you answer with, how are you? How are you? Oh, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine, yeah.
How you doing? How are you doing?
Or when it goes back and forth, hey, how are you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank
Is
you.
it-
How are you doing?
how are you doing?
Great, I'm
Great.
great. How are you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just shut up and be good.
yeah. It's almost as bad as when you say goodbye to somebody at the mall, and then you both start walking the same direction. And you're like,
That's a good thing.
Bowser Delta continues. My questions. What is your favorite 40k army to face?
Well, that's Tau.
Why?
Because Tau must die and fresh must fry.
They fresh must fry.
Fresh must fry.
What's your least favorite army to face?
Probably Necrons.
Why? This is why.
Because I die.
And lastly, how do you bring about this energy and excitement in your bat reps that you somehow channel through the recordings?
I have a theory, and someone told me this theory, and I agree with them. And the theory is that I siphon energy off of people, and the more people that are around me, the more energetic I am. And so if I'm just doing a... You're not blinking right now. When I do a battle report with someone, I feed off of their energy, and I get really excited. It's kind of like this. Like,
How do you channel it through the recordings, though? Like, how do you take that energy and...
because
send it to
the
recordings?
camera is attached to the hand, and it's literally an extension of the consciousness of the person filming. So when you see something, and they flip up and they watch for the reaction, and they go back, that's me actually looking up at the reaction.
Okay.
Does that make it descend?
Yeah, of course it does. It definitely. When watching your battle reports, I find myself rooting or gasping as good or bad rolls or outcomes happen, almost as if I was there. I hope to be able to go to Canada to face you sometime. Keep on collecting those skulls. Happy wargaming, Bowser Delta.
Yes, Bowser.
Armored Pigeon. I know, half the fun of these is just reading
I
people's
love it.
usernames.
That's awesome.
Hi Dave, first off, I just want you to know that the banter bat reps as well as the painting tutorials are the reason I signed up for the Vault. Your stuff is awesome and I'm glad you're making videos again. So my question is this, why do you say hi Jay when you roll double ones? I've only been watching for about a year and have never come across an explanation. Now before you answer that, it's interesting because some people, or maybe it's not some people, it's just one or two people, have actually thought that you really don't like Jay because he has a competing channel. They actually went as far as to give reasons.
Right.
And so that's why you're always getting mad at him whenever you roll double ones.
I don't always get mad. When it's on my favor, I don't get mad.
So here is the real reason why he says, hey Jay, when he rolls double ones.
Okay, so just so you know, there used to be a guy named Jay that worked for us. His real name was actually Justin, but no one called him Justin because we already have a Justin, so we called him Jay. Now Jay, he's got the biggest eyes I've ever seen in my life. Like, and they're shifty, so he's like looking back and forth, and he looks like he's constantly guilty of stealing something, which is half true.
Which usually is
because he's a klepto, but he's an honest one because he gives it back to you right away. So the eyes are Jay, the snake. He's not a snake, but like, you know, when you see the pips, I think of Jay.
Crazy. He even has a shirt that he
He
got made.
does, yeah.
It's
And I got the
crazy
shirt,
eyes.
yeah. Yeah. So he had to move because of
His wife.
his wife like
career and all that stuff.
yeah, got a job somewhere far, so he had to move, and that really sucked. And he does make a channel, that is true.
MiniWarGamer Jay.
MiniWarGamer Jay. In fact, he was called MiniWarGamer Jay before we even hired him. And Jay is a good person who has eyes.
Crazy eyes.
And when there's a one that comes up, Jay is winking at me.
So there's the story.
That is the story. It's as simple as that. Sometimes I do yell at Jay because he looks at me when he shouldn't be looking at me.
No, yeah, you don't like those.
Yeah.
Unless you're rolling for leadership.
Then it's awesome.
And you want the crazy eyes. MRed2577. Dave, I know the Blood Angels are slightly chaosy, but come on. You must know the Dark Gods are not amused. Why risk their wrath to play the bad guys?
Well, here's the thing about George Romero, is that he makes zombie movies. And because he does that, he actually doesn't answer the questions that people ask him.
Okay. And you know what? The Blood Angels, I think they're pretty close to chaos. They're kind of bloodthirsty, vampiric, self-loving, emperor following.
Okay, here's the reason. Okay, I'll tell you the reason.
Why?
Okay, when I first started collecting the second army, which was Blood Angels, is because they were new at the time. This was like
Years
four,
ago.
5 years ago. I don't know.
We had to branch out. We were only playing one army each.
Right. We had to kind of expand our horizons of only one army. So Blood Angels, they were new. That's the only reason why I chose them. Like, hey, they're new. They'll be popular. But through collecting them, I really started to like them. And they are pretty much chaos.
Yeah,
They really are.
They're very chaosy.
Yeah. I see them as like cousins to chaos.
Necronomicon. Dave,
I love the name.
correct me if I'm wrong, but the first miniature game that you and Matt played was BattleTech, correct?
Yeah, it was. I'm thinking of that or Battlespace, but that wasn't a miniature game. So
Well,
yeah.
Battlespace is a miniature game. But
Was it MechWarrior or BattleTech?
It's called BattleTech. MechWarrior is the role-playing game.
I thought there was a MechWarrior.
It's right there. That's the first miniature game we ever played. Right there on that shelf.
Yeah, then that would be correct.
Yeah.
Because I didn't
That's actually the first one. That is it.
I didn't play it that much. Like
You and I played it all the time?
No.
Who did I play it with then?
Like your brothers.
I thought you and I played it all the time.
We played maybe like half a dozen times. Like that wasn't that much. Yeah, and maybe like once or twice a year for not too long of a span. Because then we started MechWarrior and we just started doing the role-playing game. So it wasn't, but technically that was the first one. So the answer is yes. Battle Mech.
All right.
Yeah.
If so, you may be interested to know that a turn-based BattleTech video game is currently in production. There's been lots of BattleTech games since then. A long time ago, when I was a teenager, I bought MechWarrior 3. And that was the third game that had come out. You know, it's mechs stomping around. So, BattleTech is interesting because it's. I love it because it was my first. It's like your first love. You never forget it, right?
Yes.
But I just love the universe. I love that there was a universe, and I really got into it. Now when I look at it, it's a very simple universe and all of that, and it has depth, but not as much as 40K. Mainly because there's not as much written for it. But I still hold it dear. Like that is actually the box.
That's why it's up there. Here, I'm going to lower my head so you guys can see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is.
That is the actual first box. I walked into games a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Warhammer Fantasy on the shelf.
Yes.
And then some guy told me that game takes a full day to play.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, why would anybody want to do that? And then I saw that picture, and I instantly fell in love. I bought it.
It's a good thing too, because that branched out into the other stuff.
Yeah. We played MechWarrior. We played Battlespace.
We did.
Yeah.
Battlespace was fun.
Battlespace was awesome. It actually really felt like, still to this day, it feels like a real simulation.
Like you're really blasting apart ships.
It is super, super long. You play like 3 ships and you play for like 2 or 3 hours. Tons of paperwork, but it feels like you're slamming into a ship and chunking out pieces of it, and then you have to run and do repairs on areas.
Okay.
Oh, this is so awesome.
I got a question for you.
What's that?
Okay, so when we were kids and we played games together, I had this habit of laughing uncontrollably.
Yeah, you couldn't control it.
Like so much so, you told me after the fact that it was just like annoying. Like,
Oh, of course it was.
Like,
You wouldn't stop.
I couldn't stop, especially when you were looking at me with your eyes. So here's the question. That one time, I blasted a hole right through your ship. Did you do that just to stop the game so you wouldn't have to hear me laugh anymore? Or did I legitimately destroy your ship?
I don't remember.
You don't remember that?
I could see it being either way.
Okay.
But it was on purpose.
Roll a die
and
on
I
a
was
4
like,
plus.
I'm like, oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, you killed me. Bye. But honestly, I don't remember.
Because I remember you were like, how did you do that? And like you showed me, and there was like a perfect hole through the middle of the ship.
Right to the hull, or right to the core, which destroys it.
That's right. Whereas every
sounds
other
familiar.
game, every other game we played, it was like scattered. This one was.
Yeah, it sounds familiar, and I have a sneaking suspicion it was to get the game over quickly.
Probably, yeah.
But I honestly can't remember. Because
And
I would tell you. I would
Yeah,
totally tell
if you, yeah, I know, because you are brutally honest.
Thank you. I don't remember that. I don't remember. I do remember that.
Do you remember that time?
That sounds very.
I won't
familiar.
be offended. If
I honestly don't remember.
It's years later.
I really-
I remember it years later. I won't hold a grudge for years to come. Don't worry.
I really don't know.
Okay.
I want to play Battlespace.
Me too.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
And now
I
I'm
won't
gonna-
laugh.
For the next 6 months, I'm going to get comments. When are you going to do a Battlespace battle report? Maybe we should. I don't know. Okay, moving on. Where are we? There we go.
Haven't got through the first page yet, have we?
We're on the second page.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
It's not how many we get through. It's the quality.
It's
that
the
counts.
quality.
Dig Jam Man. Dave, my missus always mocked me about watching gaming vids until she saw you in one, and now she says she's in love. Would you be willing to trade a corn army for her? Sean from the UK.
I have so many mixed emotions.
How do you answer that and not get in trouble?
I know. I feel complimented and violated. No, it's in all seriousness, Corn would not be happy for they.
That was an expensive army.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Sorry, Dig Jam Man. Tinker, dear Dave, you're a guy who enjoys chatting about stuff normally, and I was wondering if you guys have ever considered doing a sort of likes and dislikes video series for armies that each of you play. I don't mean just a general Codex review, but something that goes into a little more detail about things you enjoy about the Codex, army as a whole, along with how your perception of the army changes over time, since what was optimal during a release isn't always the same towards the half-life of the Codex. Just a little once a month or every couple of months thing, where we get a sense of why you and others play what they do, and a sort of reflection of how you believe the past months were for you in that army.
Excellent idea. That's an excellent idea. I think it's good because it's a talk show format.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing more of those kind of shows. Not that specifically, but things where there's more discussion to
It's
them.
related.
P.S. As Matt was confused about Tau and what their women look like, Commander Shadowsun is actually female.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's all in like a suit. You just get to see. I don't even know if you can see her face. So I know that there's females in their army for sure.
They all look alike.
They're all fish people.
Yeah.
Cow fish people.
Yes.
They have hooves, so they're not totally fish. All right, what time is it? Oh, we still got lots of time. Great. War Boss Inas. Dave, hope you are well. Smiley face. I was wondering what your first impressions are of Age of Sigmar.
I don't play Age of Sigmar.
Do you like the look of it?
Yes.
Would you be willing to give it a try?
Maybe.
And secondly, did you enjoy your trip to the UK? Oh, we already talked about that.
Yes.
Kind regards, Shane. Yeah, it's tough because of the videos we make. It's hard to get into another game.
It's really hard, but I really love the models. I like.
Oh yeah, they look fantastic.
Especially the Chaos model. It's kind of I'm a little biased.
Yeah.
Like I want to use one of the Corn dudes. I think he's just a regular dude as like a whole.
You could do that.
I know.
There's nothing stopping you.
There's nothing, but
I don't think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden they're making it so they're cross compatible.
Yeah, yeah. Like even
Like
the
how
bases.
Or the main army, or it's basically Space Marines.
Yeah.
Like they look like Sanguinary Priests and Sanguinary Guard.
Yeah, yeah. True.
Or the Blood Angels.
That's true. Like there's for both of the armies, right? So there's crossover for both. So there probably will be some Age of Sigmar models crossing over to the Chaos collection.
You should just grab a bunch of Age of Sigmar and play Blood Angels versus Chaos. Just use those models.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Could.
They're just Terminators with Thunderhammers.
Yep.
Essentially. Joe at War. Dave, will you and Matt ever do another bat rap?
Yes.
If you write and direct it, I'll participate.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I wrote and directed the first one.
You did.
So it's only fair that you write and direct the second one.
Yeah. Are you saying that I could do a better job?
I'm just saying I don't want to do it.
I know.
Here's the bat rap. The Tyranid Chaos bat rap with the beat in the background is not even corresponding
That
whatsoever.
was like added after the fact.
Yeah, you just like found something, you just stuck it in there.
No, my brother made it. I said, Sam, can you make a beat that's really simple?
He made that? Why didn't he make it to the beat that we actually did the whole thing?
because we didn't do it in any consistent beat.
That's true. Each clip, you probably switched the beat a little
Okay,
bit.
this is the school of thought. My very ignorant knowledge of editing at the time. This is my thought. I'm like, okay, he'll create a beat, and then in post-production, I'll just like...
Speed it up, slow it down.
Yeah.
Right. Good luck. That's possible. You can do that.
It is possible, right? But
It's probably easier just to have a beat
it didn't work.
and film it all on the same beat.
That would be, yeah, from the get-go. Or have like a, little thing.
Yeah.
That'd be the best way of doing it.
Usually from what I understand with music videos is they just record the song and then they're just basically lip syncing.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, like they might be actually singing, but they knock out that audio.
Yeah.
And they probably have it playing in the background.
Yeah.
And so they're just singing along to their own song.
That's what I did with rolling in the Devastators.
Yeah.
So that's why that wasn't beat.
Yeah, because you can then you can actually literally, when you're editing, you can listen to the audio of the video to where the sound is and link it up and then just...
That is actually something I want to get into, is making goofy music videos.
All right. Wargaming related.
Absolutely.
Music videos.
They would have to be, yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point, right?
Because it's just fun and goofy.
Well, if you prepare it, I will perform in it. I promise.
You guys are the witnesses.
Rezael, Dave, and Matt actually.
And Matt actually. So is your last name actually now?
I guess it is. So I'm one of the pesky Dark Angel guys here in the vault. I know you guys get a lot of "do more of this, army" comments, but I just wanted to ask, or sort of insinuate in your minds, that a Chaos vs. Dark Angels narrative could be one of the best ever. I sort of mentioned it with you, Dave, during an old Trying to Chaos, but I think you guys could have a lot of fun and also create a pretty top-notch series. I never see Dave use Cypher, but the rules for him are pretty fun and amazing. What do you guys think?
I should get a Cypher model, because I've read the formation. It's pretty cool.
Isn't Cypher a Dark Angels model?
He is. He was. Or he is.
But he's the bad one.
Yeah.
He's
They
the-
view him as bad.
Isn't he bad?
Bad is relative.
Of course, but I mean, isn't he chaosy?
He would be a bad guy.
Yeah.
It's like Hannibal Lecter. He's neutral. He's not bad or good. But mostly bad.
Also, Dave, I think all of us out here would love a demonstration of your alternate voices you do for the vids. I think that's a good idea.
He totally perked up.
Yeah.
Alternate voices.
Okay, so I'm going to name a voice from one of your stop motion series, and you just got to say something in that character's voice.
Okay, so I'm going to do this because it's
Pull it down.
gonna audio clip.
You're gonna pull it a little further away.
There you go.
All right.
Just so you guys can...
All right, let's start with an easy one. Okay, Orc. That's Yoda.
That's Orc. There's no originality there.
Okay, go ahead and say something as Orc.
Let's see.
Do you want to just read a comment?
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
All right.
With regards to the issues with tags, I recommend you open up the tag system to viewers to allow voting tags. This will make the best tags easier to find.
How perfect is it that there's something technical
That's
that
great.
Orc is reading?
That's great. Actually, I agree with that. Embust 7. It's a good idea. Okay. Drunken Tao guy. What's his name? Shaz.
Shaz.
All right.
Dave, we're gonna get a jar of awesome sauce.
That's from Fluff Matters. Where can you get a jar of awesome sauce, anyways?
You have to actually create it yourself.
What is it made of?
It's made of the stuff of awesome in the awesome sauce factory.
Pretty straightforward. Okay, so now you can read this next comment as Bob. Okay?
All right.
So this is by Ravaged.
Hi, Dave. You have known Matt for a long time. What the craziest thing he's ever done? Also, Matt, what's the craziest thing Dave has ever done? Keep us the fantastic work, guys. You complement each other perfectly. You guys and the great staff you have behind you make MWG shine bright. A fellow Chaos player.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So what is the craziest thing I've ever done?
Got married and had children?
That is pretty crazy. That's the most traumatizing thing I've ever done.
Actually, no. Oh, I got it.
Good thing, though.
I
Good
got
thing.
it. I will say this, okay?
All right.
And the craziest thing that you ever did was deliver your baby.
Ah, yes.
Yes. Was that Abigail or is that?
Abigail, yeah. My
Yeah.
second.
So there was no doctor. This was like straight back in like Wild West times. That was just him and his wife
All over the
on the floor in their home, and you delivered the baby.
Pretty much, yeah.
before.
The midwife had just shown up. She like turned her back to put her stuff down and turned back, and I was holding the baby.
Yeah, like
It's pretty crazy.
how scary would that have been?
Well, the thing is, I was kind of in shock because I had to keep my stuff together because basically, usually with labor, you're like trying to cope with pain until the baby finally decides to come out. And this one, Holly had to resist the urge to push because the baby was coming out so fast, and we needed to wait for the midwife to get there.
Yeah.
We were planning a home birth, thankfully, so we had all the stuff necessary.
Right.
But,
So it was in plan anyway, but they weren't there.
she got there,
That was a crazy
turned her
scene.
back to put her stuff down, turned back, and I was holding the baby. And I was like, what do I do with this? So that was pretty crazy. What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
I love the face.
I don't know. Can you think of the craziest thing you've ever done? We're much more boring than you might suppose. I know.
What?
Like, basically worked for free for a year trying to get this business off the ground. That's pretty crazy.
That is true.
You were just so desperate for it to work. This,
Yeah.
you know, we both might work together on this business, and we each have our strengths there. But there would be no mini wargaming if it wasn't for Dave. Not just because he made videos, but because there was at least 3 or 4 times where I was ready to just kind of say, forget it. I even said we should just shut it down. We're just wasting money and time.
I remember you saying that.
And each time you're just like, no, I don't want to do landscaping anymore. Please, let's just try a little longer. I'm like, okay. That was pretty crazy.
That's true,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it worked
It did.
in the long run. Well, we've only been doing it for 8 years. We'll see what it looks like in 20 years.
This was like in the 1.5 mark? 2-year mark?
When you started actually drawing somewhat of a salary from the business?
No, like the thought of pulling plug.
Oh, I thought of pulling the plug several times in the first year.
Okay.
And then sometimes in the second year too.
Yeah.
And then there was times beyond that, within the next few years after that, where I was wondering if we would make it.
That's true. Well, wondering if you would make is a different story.
Yeah, different than at the
But, like-
beginning, wondering if it's worthwhile.
Like pulling before even profit starts to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went for a while without seeing really any money from it.
Yeah.
Which is normal for a business, but because we were doing such a weird business, we didn't. There was no normal. Like, what is normal? When
completely unknown.
You're starting a YouTube channel when YouTube is brand new, and you'd have an online store, and we had no frame of reference. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. All right, one other voice. Well, obviously Captain Slaughter. Let's do this comment right here from Carlos. Right there.
Dave, do you plan on continuing with the Shrine of Chaos soon? I love the show and the energy you put into it. Keep up the good work.
I doubt any of that was like within audible sounds. It's probably going to be all clipped. It'll just be throughout the whole thing. So do you plan to continue with the Shrine of Chaos soon?
Yes.
I love the show and the energy you put into it. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
It surprised me it sounded like Captain Slaughter because I was expecting it not to sound like him because you weren't just saying nonsense. You were actually saying something. Because normally Captain Slaughter just spouts nonsense.
It's true. And it's actually much more difficult to write nonsense than you might think.
Well, because it's all purpose nonsense.
Right.
Like when you hear each word and you actually analyze them, it's like, no, that all makes sense. The insult that he just slung at that guy that was like 10 words long, all of them made sense.
Right.
In some context. Some of them more subtle than others, but they all were there. Okay, thank you for all the voices.
Yes. That was fun. Thank you for asking for them.
One more comment before we switch to the Vault Show. Mentality. Dave, what was your favorite food challenge?
Surströmming.
Really?
Well,
Not favorite as in like it tasted good, but favorite as in your favorite to do.
that was the most disgusting thing on the planet that no human should ever...
Even worse than those jelly beans?
That was different because I was wounded by like the 2 pounds of slushy in my gut. So that I was like, it's
weren't
like
prepared.
shooting Bruce Lee's leg. Okay, let's fight now.
He'd probably still take you.
I just called myself Bruce Lee there. But anyway, yeah, surströmming because of just pure gross factor. Also, I got a lot of vault signups, which is why we continue them. By the way, that's the only reason why is because you guys support them because they're fun to do, and the behind the scenes, if they get vault signups, then we will continue doing them.
Please don't let Steve quit, or please don't Steve quit. What do you think you can talk him into next?
Well, nothing, I can't talk Steve into doing anything, but he kind of doesn't have a choice. He's got to be there.
I think he secretly loves it.
Well, yeah, he loves the attention.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not
Right,
here.
Steve?
He's doing a thing.
Yeah.
Or I think, was that Steve or Chris?
That was Steve.
Okay.
Yeah, he totally loves it.
Oh, of course he does.
Have you ever heard of Japanese NATO or NATO? I'm not sure how it's pronounced. NATO. Clearly not.
No.
All right, maybe that's something I got to look up for the food challenge. Okay, well, that's all the time we have for the free portion of the show. Of course, Vault members, go ahead, click the link below, and you can see the next 30 minutes where we'll only answer Vault members' questions. If you're not a Vault member, you can still click it, get a free 7-day trial, and get instant access to the next show, as well as the thousands of other battle reports and paid tutorials behind the scenes.
It is thousands, literally.
There's over 3,000 videos
Yeah.
in the Vault right now, which is pretty awesome. So go ahead and check that out. Thanks for watching. Happy wargaming.